Hello, everyone. Um, it's good to see you all here today. Welcome to Lipedema Wellness Conversations with Gail. That is me. And friends, that is my friend Sharon Tillery. I hope I pronounced that right? Tillery?
Absolutely.
Tillery.
Tillery.
And Tillery. And I met Sharon not too many months ago for the first time. I think it was this summer. Sharon came to play with us here at Lipedema Simplified
Mm-hmm.
um, as a coach. She's been watching us. Um,
Yes.
you know how I always talk about we have lurkers, which I'm one of. Um, I'm a lurker. I hang around and watch quite a bit until finally I'm like, okay, I can talk now. And then you never can
Mm-hmm.
shut me up. Well, Sharon, I think, was lurking around a little bit until
Yes.
she said, "Hey." So Sharon, first of all, I do want to tell our audience, please put where you're from, so that we can say hi to you. Some of you, the your names don't pop up. I see we have Kathy Patton here from Union, New Jersey. But just put something in there. Let us know you're here. Give
Kathy.
Sharon some loving. I know for a fact that we have people on here already who are new to Tribe, and I want to welcome you, especially Sherry. It's always Sherry and Telly, or Telly and Sherry. They're from South Florida, and Heather's here from Atlanta, Georgia. Looks like we've got people from the East Coast. I'm over here in Boise, Idaho, because there's somebody's got to live here. So I do. Um, I moved up here from Southern California and never went home when
Wow.
I was 20. So anyway, and Kim is here from Washington D.C.
Heather.
Hello
Kathy.
everybody. And then
Yes.
I
Hello.
do want to tell you, if you're here live, or even if you're here as a replay watcher, make sure that you hit the thumbs up if you're on YouTube, the heart if you're on Facebook, or if you're on LinkedIn, whatever people do on LinkedIn. I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know if they have a thumb
I
or they
don't
have an emoji or whatever it is. Make sure that you hit that button, because the more loves and hearts and comments we get, the higher we go up in points and ratings, and we like it. Anyway,
I think it's hearts and thumbs
oh,
LinkedIn.
hearts and thumbs, yeah.
Uh-huh.
So, um, Linda's here from Nanaimo, British Columbia, which Linda
Oh,
is out over on the island on across the Strait of Georgia for from Vancouver. I was there this summer. South Florida's here. That's Jan. Karen's here from Michigan, and of course Julie Rosa is here from Camarillo, California, and she is our official lurker. So anyway, um, which we're always happy to have. And Maria's here from Central Florida. So, with that said, Sharon, I could go on and on and on about people and where they're from, but I would like to know all about you. So, Sharon, where do you come from?
So I'm here in Newcastle, Delaware, the first state. A lot of people don't know that Delaware is the first state. Every time I say where I'm from, it's like, where's that? Like, we are the first state of the United States. We're first state.
Oh,
But
oh, so
anyway, yes.
you're the
So
number one. You have the number
yeah,
one next to the name of Delaware. Okay,
yeah. But I live in
we're number one.
number one. We're number one. So I
Yeah.
live here in historic Newcastle. It's a really interesting part of Newcastle where all the first happened here when William Penn came here. He was the first place where he kind of did everything and gathered, started the colonies and things like that. So it's very interesting when you go in that part of the town and you see the cobblestones still there, the old houses is still there. It's really nice, and it's right next to the water. It's so beautiful. It's so beautiful.
Oh. welcome. So you're really truly on the East Coast. Like you're
Yes.
on the edge. You're right over there on
I'm on the
right,
edge.
the right-hand side, the
Next to
edge.
yeah. You
Right.
see all the
Um,
ships coming in with all the cargo, and yeah, it's pretty. It's really pretty.
oh, nice, nice. Now, Sharon, living over there, you had a wonderful experience to work with a very special doctor.
I did. So that special doctor, his name is Nadiv Shapiro, and he introduced me to the lipedema community because he's actually a cardiosurgeon, vein specialist. So he and his wife opened a med spa, but he focused on laser, vein laser, and lipedema patients. And
Oh,
so he introduced me to what lipedema is and how to care for all of these beautiful patients that we have. Like all of our patients, I was like, they're that number one again caretaker for yeah.
everything they needed when they were having
Yeah.
their veins done, because we do find that many of us have vascular needs, right? We mean we have venous insufficiency, or we might need our we have spider veins. We have um, I would have to say, how did they put it when I
Where?
had mine done? We had like expanded valve areas because they did ultrasounds on my valves in
Mm-hmm.
my greater saphenous. I had my greater saphenouses done in
Yeah.
20 no yeah 2006. I had my both of my greater saphenous veins laser ablated. Now, what did you
We
find
did
was
that.
the relationship between venous issues and lipedema?
Repeat that because you say that. Ask that again.
Okay, so I might have to go over to my hotspot. So please forgive me if my phone, if we get a little goofy here. I'm gonna switch over to my hotspot um,
Okay.
because I'm thinking that I'm having some uh, issues with my internet. Let's see. So if I go off and come back in, um, okay, cancel that. Let's see what happens. Let me give this a try. Please be patient with my
Well,
I'm
while we're waiting for
okay. Okay, I'm
okay,
back.
you
it
I was
it
giving
takes me
Aunt
a little
Maria.
bit.
That's okay.
But
I was giving Aunt Maria. She said she knows where I am, where I live. She went to college here, and she worked as a social
oh,
worker. Yeah.
oh,
Okay,
nice,
Maria.
nice. Yay. Yay, Maria. So here was my question. I wanted to know when you saw the when you saw people coming in, because you're no longer in the clinic or the med spa, when you see people coming into that place and they had lipedema, did they also have venous issues?
Yeah, yeah. So he would do the at the time they don't call it that now, but the liposuction. And before they can get that done, let's say if they had the varicose veins and they were like really large, they would have to get those veins removed first, and then he would perform. Like a couple weeks later, he would perform like the surgery. But yes,
This the what I think they call it lipedema reduction surgery.
yes.
Um,
Now, edema
yeah,
reduction. Yes,
right.
yes,
And so there was often a connection between having lipedema and also having vein issues. Did you find that with that that he ever made a connection? Was it due to just having extra weight around the veins? Did he talk about the greater saphenous diaphanous compartment. I think that's what it might be called.
He did
What?
more. He did more of that talking with. Um, so he had a personal X-ray tech there. So before he did anything, he would X-ray, give an X-ray of the legs to see how large the veins were. Was there, um, it be a problem before surgery, or would it be something like with the wrapping it and putting them in the compressions and things like that? If it would go down, or the swelling would go down um, before he would decide to do surgery. So if the swelling or the inflammation didn't go down in the vein, or he thought if he felt like it was a route leading to what I didn't know then, but understand now, is the um, leading to oh my, I have a brain fart, leading to the core of the body where your fluids are leaving out, or coming through and leaving out.
Right.
He
Your
he
central
would,
lymphatic.
yes, your lymphatic. I'm so sorry, your lymphatic system. If it was in the way of that, then he would have to remove the vein to get the swelling or the inflammation to go down. Like again, by wrapping and doing compressions, then he would just kind of give them like a week or so, see what happens, and then if the swelling did not go down in the veins, then he would do the vein ablations,
Yeah. So
and
it
remove
sounds
like
like
part.
right. Yeah. So it sounds like when we go in for treatment, whether we go in for our veins or for lipedema, when we go to a vascular, a vein specialist, they're going to try to treat
Mhm.
everything and rule out all the different um, possibilities and give you the best care. But then after you
Yes.
worked with Dr. Shapiro, you've left Dr. Shapiro's office and you're doing something totally different now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, I am a coach now. I am a holistic life coach now. And I think because I worked there, and I could not, it was so fulfilling, but I couldn't find that same fulfillment going back to the hospital where I came from, as a medical assistant, because that's my profession, as you know, and on the other side of me being a holistic life coach. But he was like the reason why I wanted to work with this community so badly, because I love working there. I love my job. Like, this could not have been a better space for me, and just learning this particular part of, I mean, I've always wanted to be like OR, surgery, like get in there nice and gory for me. But working with him on that side of it, it was so fulfilling, because I got to be in every part of the 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 surgeries. But then, yes,
Mm-hmm.
when I left, I wanted to still be a part of the community, and I was trying to figure out how can I be a part of the community in my own way, like give it the support in my own way. And I found like life coaching, and I was like, wow, like this is so me. This is so me, and this is, I can make such an impact being myself this way than any other way that I could think of. So.
So tell me, as a life coach, I mean, I guess I'm not quite sure what a life coach is or what a life coach does.
So, a life coach, well, okay, so yeah, people ask me this all the time. So I can explain it this way. It's not like a therapist or anything like that, because a therapist deals with everything from your past traumas and dramas, and they help you get through that. Like, see, like dissect those things that happen in your past and get through that. Well, a life coach, we deal with like what's going on, like in the present moment, like what's your present moment situation, and what's the need, and how can we meet that need. So it's not like I'm
Okay.
diving into anything of your personal. You can share anything that you learn, but we're going to make sure like what your state of wellness right now, and how we continue to improve on that right in this present moment, and then going forward, giving you like strategic tips and tricks, and not tricks, but strategies to keep you fulfilled and keep you motivated to look at positive things that's going on in your life. Not so much looking at the negative, but just streamlining the positive and making sure that you stay on that good vibe to the quality of life that you want.
Right.
Yeah.
So if I just feel like I don't have, like I have all these things that I might want, but I can't really decide which direction I want to go in. Maybe I don't know how to take the next steps in, like, let's say if I want to go to the pool, but I just haven't been able to make myself get into that pool for whatever. Is that something that you would work with?
Yes. If that's something
So
that
you,
you want to do and you just can't find a way to do it right now, then we'll come up with a plan as to when it's best for you to get in the pool. Not
right,
make what's slowing you down or what's in the way of your rejecting to get in the pool right now. Like what are your feelings about that particular thing? Is it that pool? Is it that place? Is it a memory? Is it a, like we'll just kind of dissect it, and then we'll just come up with a plan to say, hey, let's say if you don't get in there now, how about a week from now? How about 2 weeks from now? How about just
yeah.
walking by it?
So do you, I just walked by. Yeah. So a couple of weeks ago, I said I'm going to make an appointment, and I'm going to go. I'm going to go check out the pool. I'm going to go um, take a tour of the facility. Right. That's what I was going to do, and I made an appointment. I canceled it.
You canceled
I
it.
gave myself permission to cancel. I
But
canceled my pool tour.
but that's
Yeah.
that's
So
okay.
now, yeah, today I talked to the person who was going to take me on, because I'm visiting with a friend, right?
Mhm.
And she's going to take me on. She's arranging for me to take a tour, and I canceled it. And she's a dear friend, and so today I was talking to her, and she goes, "So I'm assuming someday you're gonna reschedule that pool tour with me, right?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, that's right." So my life steps, I'm not taking them by myself. So she's kind of coaching me, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
And so as a life coach, I wouldn't be out, if you were my life coach, I wouldn't be out there by myself.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. No, no. I'm like your biggest cheerleader. Your life coach is like your biggest cheerleader. We're not gonna, like, we don't talk you into anything. It's what you want that counts, and then we're gonna take as small or as big as steps as you want to get you there. So you may have canceled your appointment like right now, but let's just say you may feel differently. Continue to talk. We won't even talk about it. We'll talk about something else. And then it'll pop in. You're like, you know what? I'm going to take my tour today. Because
Yeah,
it's not even about, we're not ever looking at what you don't want to do. Like, if you don't want to do it and you're not ready, we're not going to keep hovering over. We're going to go to something else that makes you happy. And pretty soon it'll click and you'll be like, what's the big deal? I'm going to go on my pool tour because I'm okay with that
right.
right now. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So you would help me kind of take a look at my objections and find my not what's the opposite of objections? If I'm rebelling against something, you know. You
Come,
would help me overcome.
yeah, we're coming to
Yeah.
terms with what you want. Yeah,
Yeah.
we're coming to terms with
So
that and making sure you're comfortable in those decisions that you want. You got to be comfortable because that's the only way you're going to get it done. You have to be comfortable.
right. And I know that those of us with lipedema, a lot of us have this these things coming up. It's called holidays, right? We have
Mm,
holidays coming up, and some of us want to be able to participate,
mhm.
but we're not always sure how to how to go about doing it. um, and feel supported. I mean, I know I have objections for some of the holiday things. A lot of it has to do around food, or it has to do around with, I haven't been able to get a, I haven't been able to find an outfit. That's to say, I haven't been able to find an outfit that I feel pretty in. I mean, I think it's important to feel pretty, but you notice I wear
Yeah.
hoodies and t-shirts all the time. But I'm
Hmm.
thinking I've got these upcoming things and I want to feel pretty. Would a life coach, and would you go in the dressing room with me, Sharon? you know, you know what I mean? Would you
If I
help me go pick
if
out
I was there,
clothes?
yeah. If I was there and that's what you wanted for your session time, then we would meet at the shop and we would pick out clothes. I mean, even on the Zoom, I can sit right here. You could go put your outfits on. You can fashion me all day for as long as you need, and we you can ask me my opinion, and I will tell you, and you can choose for what you want from what you like. Yeah, absolutely. Because again, we're your biggest cheerleaders, and it's never about me. It is always about you and what you want. Because I want to make sure you feel good about yourself. I want to make sure you feel comfortable. I want to make sure you're making that decision and it's not me making the decision for you. And that's the most important part. I think it is about coaching. I'm not making decisions for you. You're making your own decisions, but you're coming to terms again a little bit at a time with what it is that you want and what makes you
Okay.
happy. Yeah.
And so I can shine then, and have
Absolutely.
that confidence because I've got you in my pocket all the time.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
um
On speed
so
dial.
because we've talked about the holidays coming up,
Mhm.
I do want to let everybody know that we actually have a holiday getting ready for the holidays webinar. It's on Friday. Sharon's
Yeah.
going to be one of the coaches. So the free
Yeah.
webinar is on Friday, November 17th at 5:30 Eastern, and it is called Getting in the Holiday Spirit, an introduction to the lipedema and lymphedema coaching special interest group. So we are really working hard for you and for me and for everybody to make sure that we feel supported and loved through
Yeah.
as we come through the holidays. We're finishing out a year. That's always a little crazy for me. I mean, we're halfway through November, got 6 weeks, right? The year's going to be over, and we're so 6 weeks, 6, 7 weeks, and so it's like, whoa, we're here. We have holidays coming. I know those people in Australia call it the silly season, and I kind of understand why, because people just get silly with everything. But we do have a free webinar. Um, and I'm going to put the link to that webinar in the
Yeah.
chat, in the comments. I always have to be really careful because recently it's been adding extra words, and I have to make sure it is set right. Yep. Okay. So this link will work. And if it doesn't, you'll tell me. The audience will tell me. Anyway, it's Friday, November 17th. That's this Friday. And Sharon's going to be there, and she's going to be talking about what she does as a life coach. This is, for me, this is a really important thing because it is, like she said, therapist talks about your past and working through issues from your past. But I want to look forward to my future. I want to look for my present right now. How can I live my best life right now? Right? Because
Hmm.
that's a really hard thing to do, about learning to go from right now to the next right now to the next right now, and going in a direction that I want to go. So that's where I find life coaching to be, and Sharon uses the term holistic life coach. So it's not like a baseball coach. physical coach. It's holistic. What do you mean by
Yes.
that, Sharon? Holistic life coach.
Well, I like the way like it's explained here on the lipedema simplified, like the five dimensions that we do here, and it's like mostly like the awake, being awake or getting that awareness of who you are and what makes you happy and where your energy source come from. It's also about your quality of life and what that looks like to you and the essence of what your higher power feels like or looks like to you. So I like the way, I mean, it mentions different things, but I like the way that sounds. And I actually, Gail, I got that from you.
You
Yes.
did.
Yes, because when you were talking the other day, and you were saying how out of the holistic approach, you concentrate, or your best part is the social part because you're a very social person and you like socializing, and that's how that's how you do your coaching, is through socializing, and that's why you like to talk with the community and communicate that way. And I was like, wow, that's a pretty darn good thing where you're not concentrating on the entire holistic or the entire approach that lipidem simplified do. You just took one little piece of it, and that's the part that you love, and that's the part that everybody loves you for, because you're very comfortable in that space. And I was like, wow,
Well,
I'm about
thank
to take a
you.
part of, you're welcome. I'm about to take a piece of Miss Gail.
No, thank you, because I think about that and I've never seen it. I've never looked at it that way. I've never thought, okay, because we have this holistic approach. Catherine's always said, start where you are, start where you want to be, whether it's physical, emotional, spiritual, mental, all the knowledge, social. And I think, I really do. You're right. I'm that social person. I want to be involved. I like rubbing Zoom elbows with other Zoom elbows, right? Because we are online. And but I never really thought that, okay, that's where I am. I don't look at it that way. I go, oh, this is what I do, but I guess that's where I am. So thank you for
And
noticing that.
you're welcome. And I like the out of the holistic part. I love the spiritual part because I'm a very spiritual person. But it's just I was jumping for joy when I heard you say that, because we don't have to take the whole five parts of it. We could just take the part that's most important to us. We can share in other parts of it too, but we'll shine in the parts that best suits us. So best fit for us.
Right.
So thank you for
And
that.
oh, you're welcome. And thank you for noticing. So you just gave me a little coaching. You just gave me a mini coach. Because you noticed something about me that I might not have been able to put into those words. And Glinda here, she says, love the comments of social invitation and holding the space for others to share. And and that is
Exactly.
where I go,
Hmm.
because that's who I am. And but I'm still all the other stuff too.
Hmm.
Because I'm a whole person, but this is my
Yes.
strength. And so, Glenda, I'm shared that with us tonight, and I'm grateful, Sharon, that you kind of did a little mini coaching for me. Wow, wow! I'm always learning something, something new. So, is that part of your holistic, um, the practice, the holistic life coaching that you have, where you actually might recognize that somebody that's a social aspect, or by listening to them talk, you'll say, you're really physical. You are very focused on nutrition and and these plans that you make, and then you would coach them through, are you going to continue this way? You know, how would you, if someone comes to you who's not a social butterfly like me, oh, I'm a butterfly. It doesn't have to be social, but you know, most people think I am. So if they were more physical and less verbal, would you be able to recognize that and help them find ways to move forward on their in the more physical aspect?
Yeah, I think so because I mean, coaching is all about conversation, but it's like I listen more than I talk. And so as I'm listening to them, I'm taking my notes and I'm writing down. But mostly when you ask the question, like, what's going well with you? And they'll tell you, because of course you always want to start with that. But while they're talking, they can go a little bit into detail with something that's not so well and something that they love or their hobbies and things like that. So you get to know the person through the conversation, and then you can tell like what the things that are important to them, and then you can tell if it's physical, if it's social, if it's emotional, if it's mental, if it's spiritual. You can tell through the conversation. So yeah, I can pick it out, but sometimes though it takes more than one session to get there.
Oh, I'm sure. And I know we often talk about like the difference between coaching and consulting.
Mhm.
And coaching is a it's a more of a long term, like you say, cheerleader. I can't develop a relationship with you and be cheered on in 20 minutes, right? I just can't do it. But
No, I can't.
right,
I don't. I mean, unless you're doing like that with like a laser coaching, you may be able to,
right.
but
So if
not because you want to get to know you really do want to get to know the person, and the more you get to know them, the better you can, the better success they will have with you being their coach. Yeah.
right. And so if I were to want to let's say find out if you were the life coach for me and I had a 20-minute session with you, a free 20-minute session with you, and I decide that I do want you to be my coach, we would then set up a regular scheduled program, right? I mean, it was like whether it's once a week, every other week,
Mhm.
whenever I need to come in and talk to you, you would be my cheerleader. So you're the one who I'd go, oh, guess what I did? Woohoo, let's party.
Yeah,
What's next, right?
absolutely. And I would say, yes, yes. Well, tell me more. Tell me more. What excited you about that? And how will you keep going? Like, what's going to make you keep going? Like, what are we doing? What's our plan here? And then you'll tell me what your plan is, not my plan.
Right,
Yours. And
right.
then
What's my
and
plan?
every week you'll let me know. But even if you had a bad week and you didn't get it done, I'm still going to cheer you on. I'm still going to, no, we're not even going to think about what didn't happen. Let's just, whatever it was, let's talk about it. Now, what will we put in place to ensure that that's not going to be something that will, may be an obstacle this time? And then you'll
Right,
tell me, well, no, I don't want to do it this week. And I'm like, okay, well, how, when can we do it? And you'll tell me, well, I'll do
right,
it the week after because I feel more comfortable with what I have going on. Maybe you're too busy this week to do it. So it's never about me and what I want. It's always about what you want and how you see yourself getting there, because you're like the main character of the show, right? You're the
right.
main character of your life, your show. It's
And
your show.
yeah, and I can see how that could really help with those of us with lipedema, because we do have to get up every morning and we have self-care that we have to do, and we learn, especially here on Lipedema Simplified, we have so much information. We do learn how what we what we can do to help to develop a treatment
Mm-hmm.
plan and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes we feel alone. We feel like, okay, this is overwhelming. I need someone to help me put it into action step by step by step.
Yeah.
And that's where a coach really comes into play.
Yeah.
And so we as a community, we offer you as a coach. We offer you as a coach because we know that people can really benefit from having that person for accountability, that person to cheer us on, help us maybe break it down into tinier steps,
Mm-hmm.
and develop a really strong relationship
Yeah.
with with a coach.
Yeah.
So with that, we've been on here for 35 minutes. If you can believe it, it feels like we just got here.
Doesn't feel like
Is there any is there anything is there anything else you want to talk about before we wrap this up, Sharon?
you did mention before. You said you gave yourself permission to not
Uh-huh.
do something, and that's a really good key for our holiday. Like you know how what we're facing during a holiday, and it can apply to all of us, some of us, but just giving yourself permission. And we're going to talk about that more, during our time together, during the seasick. But just remember that you can give yourself permission to do something, and as Gail say, not to do something, because it's important to say that I give myself permission not to do, not to go to these places or dinner or whatever it is, or I give myself permission to have this one time, or maybe, but it's just in that statement, you've given yourself so much power. You've empowered yourself to do or not do whatever it is that you might feel it may get in the way, or not so much get in the way, but stop you from being successful in what you decide to do. So I love the way you said that, like, giving yourself permission not to do something, because most of us don't do that. We
Right.
give ourselves permission to do a thing, but to say I give myself permission not to do, like, that's so empowering. That is really empowering.
Right. And I remember there was a time when I could not I could not force myself, believe this. Yes, I believe this, to empty the dishwasher. I couldn't force
Mm,
myself to empty the dishwasher. I'd
mhm,
look at it, I'd open the dishwasher, I'd shut it. And as soon as someone said, "Well, you should give yourself permission not to empty the dishwasher." So I'd go out, I'd look at the dishwasher, and I'm like, "Gail Louise, you have my permission not to empty the dishwasher today." And I opened that dishwasher and I'd look and I thought, "I have the permission to not empty this dishwasher." I'd put a few dishes away and then I'd shut it and I'd go back out. I'm like, "Oh, I don't have to do this." And as soon as I realized I don't have to do this, I started unloading the dishwasher. Don't
isn't that
ask me
something?
why that works. I have no idea. But I also had permission to stop unloading the dishwasher,
Hmm.
right? Move on to
Yeah.
something else. Um, I have permission to lay on my bed and stare at the ceiling.
Hmm.
And I tell you, I do it. I also
Yeah.
do not, do, I don't do it all day, but I do have permission to do it as long as I want to. So
Yeah.
I think
You do.
giving myself permission to do or to not do things has been extremely powerful for me.
Yeah. 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 I feel that. I do. I feel that.
So I'm gonna give us permission to wrap this up. Sharon, at the end of every broadcast, I ask my guests if there's one message that you would like to see echoed around the world, what would it be?
Oh, um, if it's one message that I want to echo around the world tonight, it would be, um, to give yourself grace. to give yourself grace, especially during this holiday. It's a lot of pressure. It's a lot of pressure on a lot of us, you know. But just to give yourself grace and giving yourself permission to do or not do anything. But the grace is needed because we're so hard on ourselves. So just this, and tonight, in this moment, in this present moment, give yourself grace. And then to take it with you for the rest of the season. Grace.
Oh, that's wonderful. Thank you. I would like to expand on that, and I would like to invite those of us who have a self to use um, a gender. For example, this is my body, and I love her.
Oh, I like
I love
that.
her. I am,
Yes.
you know, um, and so I'm going to say, "Hey, girl," I'm going to talk to myself, my body, myself, and I'm going to make her more personal rather than calling myself or my body it. And that's one of the things that I would like us all to practice sometimes. Um, you know, we all talk about, I don't like my legs. Well, they belong to my body, and I love her. I love her. I'm going to take care of her, and it really changes the way we think. And I got that from Nina Manelson
Mm-hmm.
on one of our CSIGs that we had with her last year or this earlier this year, and it has been a powerful tool to actually talk to our body like it's a person instead of a thing, right? So I
Yeah.
wish that, and that's giving ourselves grace,
Yes.
is when we talk to our body like they're a person and they're beautiful.
That's,
Um,
that's
so
powerful. That's
yeah,
beautiful. I'm gonna do that myself. I'm gonna do that every day.
thank you. Every
Every day.
day, talk to your body like
It's my
she is.
affirmation every day.
Yeah, like she's there with you. She was, how did Nina put it? She was there at the beginning, she'll be there at the end, right? So she's our best friend. And so I've been working on that, and so I'd love to see more of us, those of us with lipedema, talking to ourselves like we really are a person, not a
Yeah.
thing. So
Yeah.
that's mine.
Yeah.
So let's give ourselves some grace.
Yes.
And with that,
I
I
agree.
always love being with you. I love being
Me
with this community.
too.
We're here for you, and you're here for us, and we're here together. Everyone
Yep.
have a good night or a good
Good
day wherever
night.
you are in the world. Good
Join
night.